Hello, and welcome to another episode of Cosmere Conundrum. I'm your host, Nemo,
And I'm Roman.
and today we'll be talking about chapters 17 and 18 of Mistborn, The Well of Ascension.
Yeah, well, I really want to call it Chapter 17. A good chapter, if a bit weird. Chapter 18. Ah!
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, those two chapters
I
are like, I don't
I
know,
did not
weird.
enjoy Chapter 18.
Yeah.
Like, this is one of the few times I've only listened to it, like a block of chapters twice. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, you can
I just
measure.
couldn't get... I just didn't want to go through Chapter 18 again.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, it's two weird people that we both are someone we do not really like. So
Yeah, but both people we already don't like, combined with bad handling of mental health, which I never like.
yeah, fair.
And let's just say doing quick calculation in your head makes Straff even worse.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like
That's the entirety of chapter 18.
So, yeah, let's just start with chapter 17, which at least starts pretty normally.
Yeah, once again, we start with Vin sort of reading the logbook, trying to find the answers to a myriad of questions, but obviously it's hidden. I don't know, it's not there. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, she's doing her best.
She's doing her best. She even tries to take notes, and we learn that while Reen did teach her how to read and write, he didn't really consider writing an asset. So
No, but the way Ellen then later describes her writing is like, oh no, she can write because she's so careful. Her
Yeah.
handwriting actually looks good.
Yeah, exactly. And she refuses to use a writing desk, which something even Ursula comments upon.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just sprawled upon the floor.
If it's where you're most comfortable reading and writing, it's where you're most comfortable reading and writing.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, that's what she says. She's more comfortable on the floor, so that's why. But as she's writing, Ellen arrives, and Vin at first cannot recognize Ellen, given his makeover from the last chapter. So much that
I do want to point out, Sir makes a good joke.
Yes, I mean
the if it's too heavy for you joke is quite funny.
Yeah.
Bravo, or Sir, you have one funny moment for once.
To be fair, he's using the same thing he has been saying for like entire book and the end of last book, and he's making it into a joke now that if you think I should believe that, then I will.
Well, no, I'm talking about yeah, but I think it's more the thing of that he basically is like, well, if the paper's too heavy, you can always burn pewter. That's just funny.
That is funny, yeah, pretty much. But yeah, as I said, as Ellen enters, Vin cannot recognize him, and she flares pewter.
Vin at first is just like, why are you knocking on the door of my quarters? And I was like,
yeah,
because you might be changing.
Yeah.
And Vin is still just, I don't care.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
which, yeah.
Even Ellen remarks upon how she has still not learned about privacy. Anyway. But yeah, Ellen's makeover. Vin cannot recognize
Vin doesn't recognize Ellen at first.
Yeah, and she examines his appearance, saying that there's less hair for people to grab, or that the cape will come off easily if anyone grabs onto it. Basically, thinking all about combat.
Her brain goes. Yeah, her brain is more like, will this prevent me from protecting Ellen? No, this will make it easier. Thank God.
Yeah.
And then she asks about if she can finally cut her hair. And Ellen mentions he likes it the way it is, and she just goes, "Oh, it stays."
Yeah, instantly.
Which, baby bird imprinting on a parent.
But yeah, in the end, she does approve of Ellen's look, saying he looks like a king now, which is, I think, was the point. But yeah, then Ellen goes on to talk about the messenger and gets distracted instantly by Vin's notes and says how beautiful his her handwriting is.
Part of the only reason I'm not saying Ellen has ADHD is because he can sit behind a desk for hours.
Yeah.
Because my boy gets distracted quickly.
I think it's the novelty of seeing Vin write, something he hasn't really seen.
I mean, he does get distracted quickly.
Yeah, that is true. Vin instantly recognizes the messenger, obviously, as the Watcher, and informs Ellen that the messenger is a Mistborn, which I thought was nice. that Vin is communicating some things.
Well, yeah, and it's also just like, well, yeah, I like how like, the fact of the problem matter is it's the Watcher. And my brain went, oh no.
Yeah.
I went, oh boy, this is becoming a bit much.
Anyway.
It's also just like, yeah, I started going, this book is going into directions I'm not liking.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm starting to suspect I might struggle with this book.
There are choices that are being made that I'm not a big fan of. Like the entire.
There are choices being made that result in fan fiction.
Yes, exactly. Like the entire love triangle aspect, I've never a fan of in no book. Like the only book I can tolerate it is Percy Jackson, and that is only one chapter, to be fair. So it's fine.
Yeah, and something like Harry Potter actually avoids it with the main trio.
So there's
which
nothing.
Is rare as.
To be fair, you do get something about Harry liking Ginny and Ginny not really focusing on Harry and someone else.
It is more. Yeah, but it's never the focus of the story. No. It's never between the main trio.
Yeah, it's never between the main trio, which is fine.
You mostly get Ron and Hermione fighting, and for some reason that being the basis of relationship.
Yeah, it's weird. Anyway, so choices are being made, which both of us do not really like much. Ellen then asks the Watcher about the message, and we learn that Watcher's name is Zane, and that Straff is happy that Ellen is coming to his senses, making alliances with Straff.
Yeah, I mean, he went, I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I mean, you see this the next moment when Ellen proposes a meeting and just outside the city, and Zane says that no, Straff wants it in his tent.
Yeah, no,
for some reason.
From that alone, you know Straff's not being serious.
No, not at all. I mean,
but also Ellen up immediately. Ellen actually made a mistake with the negotiations.
Yeah,
because Ellen is the one who immediately proposed a tent in between the camp and the city instead of Straff should come to the city gates.
Yeah, I think you should start
instead
with
of insisting that. Instead of insisting that Straff come to him, he immediately went towards the middle ground.
Yeah.
It's a basic mistake, and Tyndall's gonna tear him a new one for that one.
We'll see what Tyndall says about that. But for now, Ellen says that he'll think about it, and he expresses the concern that since Straff is worried about coming to the city, Ellen should also be worried about going to the camp. But Zane says the Straff will protect him from Seth's assassins. What about Straff assassins?
I'm not afraid of Seth's assassins. I'm not afraid of Seth's assassins in Straff's camp. I'm afraid of Straff's assassins.
Exactly. So yeah, it's
namely the one in front of him.
And Jane also mentions that since Ellen is desperate, he will have to go to Straff at some point, and which is when Ellen says that he'll consider the offer and sends Zane off. But yeah, that's the entire thing. For some reason, that was the entire message.
And then we are not even halfway through the chapter, and it goes into, oh no, Vin.
Yeah, one thing
it goes that Ellen... oh boy, our characters are starting to make bad decision after bad decision.
Yeah, one thing that does happen is Ellen notices that Zane keeps glancing towards Vin. Something even like...
Yeah, he does mention Vin. And
it'll probably result in some form of confrontation. Not really like an argument per se, but just a talk in between Vin and Ellen at some point. Which we'll have to wait and see, I guess. Anyway, later on, Vin... again, standing on the walls of the keep.
And miss, blah, blah, blah. It's the usual for Vin.
She is again trying to find sort of the mist spirit, but she notices it but doesn't really like react to anything. And Ursa makes a joke when he asks Vin why they are here, and Vin says that they are on patrol, to which Ursa says that do you command me to believe that?
Yeah, and I hate to agree. I don't like having to agree with Ursa. But god damn it, Vin, why are you not telling Ellen that the Watcher is Zane?
Yeah,
and then it's like she comes up with the most bullshit explanation possible.
Yeah, she says that she doesn't want to worry Ellen with the assassin talks, and
She
he's
doesn't
the
want to tell
king.
him about it because she knows exactly what Ellen will say, and that you need to avoid him then.
Yeah, pretty much. And she's fascinated. Like even later on in this chapter, we see that she's fascinated by Zane, purely because
By
he's
Zane's
just
skill.
yeah, by his skill and the fact that he's the only other Mistborn that she knows at this point. So that sort of the bonding between them of being one of or two of a kind, really. So makes
Mhm.
sense. But yeah, as she is thinking about like how nothing is mentioned in the logbook about the Mist Spirit after it kills one of the members of
Nearly
Elend,
kills
or nearly kills one of the members of the uh, crew.
Alandi's party.
Yeah. As she's thinking about this, she senses Zane, the typical, and flies off, leaving Ursa behind.
Yeah, and we effectively get what for the next few pages is just a fight.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a very well written fight, and it's pure Mistborn fighting. That doesn't mean you can keep track of it all the time.
It's a simple contest between them, as even Vin establishes in the beginning that who falls to the ground first. And
yeah, and it's also just a thing of a good way of reminding us that the other nobility keeps are still around, so we're going to keep hasting. And we get the nice reminder that Keep Hastings Keep is very confusing.
Yeah. One thing we do learn is that Ellen is
just to point out, who puts a ballroom at the top of a tower?
yeah, imagine climbing the top of tower in your ball gowns. I don't think that's convenient.
Oh, they're going to have a lift system.
Probably, yeah. That would make sense.
Like a lift and pulley system.
Yeah, pretty much. One thing we do learn is that, I mean, Ellen has converted some of the older keeps into government buildings, but he's also just like destroying some of them, which I cannot think of a reason why, other than you're making something else. But in this economy,
hang on, where does it say he's destroying them?
so when it's being mentioned that Ellen has given some of the old keeps to the lower nobles and converted into the government buildings, it says that some of them are being plundered and they're
that is not destroyed. Plundered is explicitly not destroyed. What that means is they've removed all the valuable items from them.
Okay, that makes sense.
It's not that the keeps are still there because removing them takes a lot of work and effort and money, but they've removed all of the valuable materials from them.
Yeah, it says that the stained glass windows and other things are lying in a pile, which I guess if you're selling those to get some money,
you can't really resell that. You can't really resell those.
So then why is it being removed? I have no idea.
It's more the fact of Ellen was like, okay, we need the gold, the silver from those places. We need all the valuable materials. We need the books from those places. The rest we really do not care about. And for goodness sake, the Scar need something to vent.
That is true, yeah.
We may as well allow them to destroy the keeps we are no longer using.
Okay, that makes sense.
And remember also that a lot of the keeps were destroyed during the revolt in general.
Yeah, a lot of the nobles.
And before that, during the House War. So it was already a mess. And I imagine the ones that were retained as government places were the ones that survived the revolt.
That would make sense.
Which, that's not a lot of them.
Yeah, that would make sense. But yeah, they keep pushing and pulling on coins without any reason. Well, the reason is that they are engaged in a tussle to see who falls to the ground first, and they keep colliding into each other. At one point, when they collide and they are falling towards the ground, Zane reminds Finn that they are Mistborn and that she shouldn't let others control her, which is basically gaslighting 101. That this entire next section.
Oh yeah, no. Zane's entire interaction with Vin is pure gaslighting.
Yeah. But yeah,
Vin, if I disliked the Watcher before, I hate him now.
Yeah. To be fair to Vin does push him off and doesn't really take to his ideas.
The thing is, in the end, Zane technically wins.
Yeah.
But it's mainly by a trick. Vin wonders how the hell did neither she or Kelsey think about it. It's like, honestly, it's not the most logical thing in the world. You were surprised by the fact that, oh yeah, Osir can just carry metals in his body. It's the fact that I know his body can morph.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, she did know that if there's a metal inside your body, you can't really push and pull on it.
But to be fair,
unless
inside the body, mouth becomes questionable.
yes, that is true. So the fact that Zane was creative enough to try, and Vin and Kelsey didn't really think of it, that's what gives him an edge, and that's how he defeats Vin.
Which is good. It's good that our hero doesn't always win, even if I hate it.
Yeah, I mean, to be
Like,
fair,
if Vin has
she
won,
almost wins. She almost wins. She does.
she always wins. It's a reminder. It's a good reminder of just how powerful she is.
Yes.
But she does, for instance, make the mistake of getting into a pushing match,
Yes.
despite the fact that she weighs nothing.
One thing, I don't know how much I like this or not, but when Zane drops in front of Vin after Vin has been defeated, Vin likens him to Kelsier, saying that he's just as tall and he's just as skilled and all. Which
I think that makes sense because she's comparing it to the only reference she has for Mistborn.
that is true. Yeah, makes sense. But yeah, she then asks him why he's here, and again Zane tries to gaslight her, saying that the people around her.
Zane is pure gaslighting here.
Yeah.
I'm like, none of this is true. Vin, for the love of everything, do not listen to this madman. And that is literally what he is.
Yeah, pretty much. One thing you do see in the next chapter is the fact that
you mean the fact that Zane's a hypocrite.
And Zane is not the only one who thinks that. Like, even Straff, when they were... Okay, we'll get to it, but when Straff and Zane are talking about Lord Ruler and Vin...
Oh, I know. I'm aware. Straff it's because of Straff that he thinks this way.
Yeah.
The problem is that we're now getting more insecurities thrown towards Vin.
Yeah. At least these are new insecurities and not really rehashing the same things.
I mean, it's coming back down to trust.
Fair.
It's going to come back down to trust.
Fair, but I think Vin at this point has enough trust. Given we do see her, sort of not really believing in Zane's story much and thinking that whether she can turn Zane against Straff, which is when Zane flies off, and Zane again, as we were talking about, Zane gaslights her by saying that the people around her use her for their own gains and that they never understand her. And this shakes Vin a bit, but not enough, really. As we talked about, this comes down to trust.
Oh, no. The way Zane later talks about what Vin thinks is wrong.
Yeah, pretty much.
Vin takes away different things from this meeting than Zane thinks.
Yeah.
But
to Vin, Zane is very much like her, and as he says, he's an outsider, and she thinks whether or not she can turn him against Straff, which
I mean,
would be interesting.
The thing is, Zane is someone who grew up in a rough environment and came out bad.
Broken, yeah.
That's what we learn in the next chapter, but we need to just cooperate these two chapters. Anyway,
yeah.
Vin's more like Harry Potter.
Yeah.
God-awful upbringing, heart of gold.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, makes sense.
Like, when you think about it for more than a few seconds and it becomes weird why they came out good.
I think...
Because Vin is very kind-hearted. She can absolutely be cruel because she learned that from Kelsey. But by her nature, she is not cruel.
No. To be fair, Vin has... I think it's just the choices because Vin has seen what was done to her and she chose to not do that to others. Whereas Zane saw what was done to him and then he chooses to do the same to others.
Yeah, Zane thinks, I can become the ruler of the universe.
Yeah, pretty much. So that's the difference between them. It's again, it comes down to the choices you make, not really how or where you grew up, which is something that has been reiterated quite a few times.
I mean, there's also this thing of that Zane effectively grew up delusional because the indication we get is that he's known for a very long time that he's an unrecognized bastard.
Yeah.
Whereas Vin just did not know she was an unrecognized bastard.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. Anyway, let's move on to the epigraph. But it doesn't say much. It just says, if only the deepness hadn't come.
It just says that, it's the thing of, I think the declaration of this person is the hero of ages might have been the thing that brought the deepness about.
Yeah.
It's one of the things, this screams magical coincidence.
Magical coincidence, you can also call it self-fulfilling prophecy. It can be any of those things, but yes.
Yeah, for instance, if one of the lines of one of the prophecies is like, when the hero of ages is declared,
Mhm.
the deepness shall come to threaten the world. Well, you've just declared the hero of ages, and now the deepness is here.
Yeah, but again,
Obviously, it wouldn't be that literal. It's a prophecy.
But yeah, that makes sense. Both this and the next chapter's epigraph are pretty much a retrospective after the things have happened, which
Yeah.
you don't cry over spilled milk. Anyway, chapter 18. We start with a new perspective. Yay!
The moment
Yeah.
I saw who it was, I went, oh shit. You are keeping in that shit.
Yeah, it all stays in. Most of it stays in. But yeah,
But-
Zane is looking at Ellen through his balcony door.
The moment I read this, I was like, right, so Vin's just not here, despite the fact that her first instinct would have been go back to Ellen's.
I think, see, Vin, we know that she doesn't trust easily, but for some reason, the fact that Zane hasn't killed Ellen yet has convinced her that he will not kill Ellen ever, which is weird.
Which is unbelievably stupid.
Yes.
And makes no sense.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because her entire driving force this book is protect Ellen's.
Yeah, that's. I mean, she also uses. She uses it as weird excuses to not tell Ellen anything, but she's not here.
No, and it's just, also just another thing, but it's just annoying.
Yeah, it is pretty annoying.
This little bit is purely an excuse to give us, oh no, shock twist, bastard.
Yeah. The interesting thing is how this chapter starts with God telling Zane to kill Ellen.
Yeah, and we're going to get into the immediately. Oh boy, this is not a good portrayal of mental health whatsoever.
Do you think it's just a form of mental health?
This is really difficult for me. This is really hard to read straight away. As someone who struggles with their mental health, basically having an entire chapter of the character going, "Oh, God is telling me to kill people. Woe is me."
But that's the thing. Is it really like a form of mental health, or is there someone in his mind, like how Kronos gives Percy dreams? It's someone from an external force that.
The way it's presented, this screams mental health.
I mean, it could be a bit of both, I guess.
It could be a bit of both, but so far, in my opinion, it's written like just mental illness of some kind.
Yeah, especially like it's similar to how Rain appears in Vin's mind, and how like
I wouldn't say that. Rain appears differently because this one is consistent, constantly saying effectively the same thing.
Yeah, and it's mostly the things that
really important.
Vin has heard before.
It's only the people who have a direct connection to him where it goes on. With Vin, it was always a thing of the warnings from Rain.
Yeah.
The things Rain taught her. It was more that she was thinking back to her brother's words unconsciously or subconsciously.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, this is I don't know. It's weird. It's something I don't think both of us enjoy, this kind of like writing, but yeah.
No, and I don't like the constant, Zane sees a person, God tells him to kill someone.
Yeah.
It just became repetitive.
Yeah, I think.
And it just,
I think you used the correct word the other day to describe how this chapter especially feels, like bloated, because
this chapter especially is extremely bloated.
Yeah.
And I'd expect bloated from a Sazed chapter.
Yeah, but Sazed chapters have all been
but will be
short.
filled with things.
Yeah.
This is also a relatively short chapter, but it's also filled with a whole bunch of things, and it just becomes too much. If it didn't have the poisoning subplot line, this chapter might have been a little bit better.
I guess, yeah.
If we'd not switched to Straff's perspective, basically.
Yeah, that entire like.
Whilst Zane's perspective is mostly annoying to read, Straff's is just uncomfortable.
I think that's how it's supposed to make you feel, but
I know that. That doesn't mean I like reading it.
Fair. I mean, I think it's similar to Cersei's chapters. Like, except I think Cersei is a way better character than Straff. Let's be fair there.
with Cersei is also, we've known Cersei for quite a long time before
Yeah.
we get her perspective.
Yeah, that is true.
We've not really had much interaction with Straff before this.
That is true. And the moment we switch to his perspective, it's just extremely weird thoughts and extremely weird details that are not necessarily
we did
needed.
not need the details of just how young he likes his mistresses to be.
Yeah. Like, I mean, we knew Straff was bad. You don't need
We
to
knew
spell it out everything.
We don't need, like, we can have the understanding of Straff's an awful person without the, he thinks people in their late 20s are old.
Yeah. Especially
And
like,
describes her, that means she's 28, 29, and he describes that she was beautiful a decade ago, which means we're talking about teenagers.
Yeah, I mean, we did learn
That's not
from
necessary.
Vince. Yeah, we did learn from Vince's perspective in the last book, when Vin is talking about how like girls her age either become mothers or go into prostitution or something like that, which
was detached enough to be uncomfortable, but not directly so. Whereas here, it's just directly uncomfortable.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Anyway, let's finish this chapter quick because I don't want to dwell on it for long. It's a weird chapter. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, this chapter is basically Zane acts more important than he actually is. He thinks he's the shit.
I mean, he's a Mistborn, so he kind of is, but not in the presence of Straff, which is all that matters to him.
But the thing is, whereas Kelsier very much took the Mistborn thing of, no, I just have skills that make me different from others. It doesn't make me automatically better than others, which is also the way Vin looks at it.
Yeah.
Whereas Zane takes, I am a Mistborn, I am the best of all.
Yeah, I am superior to others specifically, which is yeah. And we do see that he is also extremely jealous of, jealous of Elend because of his upbringing, because of the...
Yeah, which, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because, he is Alan's bastard brother, and I messaged you right away when I read that for the first time, being like, oh, are you kidding me?
I mean, I think that should have been expected because we knew...
I was expecting cousin.
Yeah, we did talk about cousin.
Also, with the way we know, the nobility had to be so careful with mistresses and bastards. I just didn't expect, and the way it's explained from Straff's perspective is that he's got a lot of them.
Yeah, like we are learning about how many mistresses he has brought, and he just says just 10 to 15.
And the one we meet is explicitly said like her body has aged from pregnancies.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's like, but we literally know how careful the nobility had to be regarding mistresses, and I somehow doubt all his mistresses are going to be noble-born.
No, I don't think so. Like most of them feel like Scar, which
it feels like Straff took full advantage of the fact that his house was the most privileged in the Empire.
Yeah,
and he just assumed that the Inquisitors are never going to investigate my family.
Yeah, that would make sense. But yeah. Anyway, we are in Zane's perspective. We learn that Zane admires Kelsier in his own way. That the fact that he was able to use his powers to bring about a change. Though how Zane looks at it, as we talked about, how Zane looks at it is very different to how Kelsier would explain it. And he has no clue who Kelsier actually was. Yeah, that's very clear in this chapter. Yeah, he likes the idea of Kelsier without really understanding the person behind the idea. Which again, that's the thing that happens literally every time. But yeah, Zane then goes away to his camp. Yeah, orders around people. Managing to the moment I saw Straff go just drinking the poisoned tea, right? So he is an antidote of some kind lying around. Yeah, no character is stupid enough to do that. Yeah, one thing that I did find, I don't know how stupid Zane is, but he orders one of the officers to basically commands Straff to come to him, which I don't know in what world he assumed the Straff would come to him. Zane full on thinks he's the senior officer of the army. Yeah, like when the other says like, you are not above me, you are not my superior. So Yeah, I'm not helping you. I'm
Which-
giving you orders, basically.
Like, his whole thing of a Mistborn should not be a slave applies to I am above everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, which is so different from Vin, because if Ellen were to tell her something directly, stop bullshitting around with the Watcher,
Mm-hmm.
she actually would listen to him. At
Yeah,
least
and
to
that's
some
exactly
extent.
yeah, that's exactly why she's not telling Helen at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, Straff obviously does not arrive, so Zane goes to meet Straff. And Straff is having dinner, and he barely reacts to Zane. And he asks about what happened, and Zane tries to tell him that they should do this in the command tent, but
Oh yeah, sorry.
Straff.
We should also mention something. The Converse spy in the palace is Zane's.
Yeah. I think we should have known that.
Which
I think even
all of those plot lines just coalesced into hateable character.
Yeah,
Which just
I mean-
goes. However, what I will say this is
Uh-huh.
the fact that Zane does not seem to know anything about the whole double alliance plot.
no,
Does lean into it can't be anyone of the crew.
no, which makes sense.
Still annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the fact that they've discussed the ATM multiple times as the crew.
Yes, that they in fact do not have ATM.
They must have, because it's one of those things where shit. I mean, I'm still wondering how, considering how quickly some of the nobility abandoned the palaces, nobody found any ATM.
No, but yeah, that makes sense that his spy is either not really well situated, which it's stupid of you to even send a spy at that point, or
I mean, it's pretty obvious how what happened is
Mhm.
Zane infiltrated the palace, killed someone,
Mhm.
which explains a lot of how they were able to sneak in and kill someone if it's a Mistborn.
Yeah. I mean, even Vin thought about it at a point that maybe the Watcher is the one who supplied the spy, and she still like has some trust in Zane for some reason.
Well, here's the thing with this is that by virtue of us now knowing this, it kind of removes the mystery aspect quite heavily.
I mean, there's still the mystery that who is the spy.
We still have the mystery aspect of who is the spy. We no longer have the why is the spy, and who does the spy is the spy for?
Mhm.
And it's like we are consolidating things,
Mhm.
but it's all going into now we're gonna have this perspective. I think it would have been better if this had we just did it. So far, I don't think this chapter was necessary to continue this plot. I would have preferred the whole thing of who Zane was to be more of a. That's better as a third act twist than a
Yeah.
because because the previous chapters have been setting up kind of a mystery plot line regarding the Watcher, and that mystery is now gone. And it gets wrecked by virtue of us having Zane as a perspective.
Yeah, it's extremely weird.
Yeah, and Zane's just uncomfortable to read in general, and then he starts cutting himself.
Yeah, that's another point of that we were discussing about him having some form of mental health issues. That it's not particularly handled well. Yeah, it's weird. I'm not.
I've known people who I've known people who've done that. It's not comfortable.
Yeah, unless it goes somewhere important, I think Zane shouldn't really have been included in this book.
There's the Watcher. Yes, the Watcher in general as a concept is an interesting. I would have preferred him just being a rogue Mistborn.
Yeah, he could have been a rogue Mistborn, but at that point, what would have been his motivation?
Motivation is I want an apprentice. That could have been a very good motivation. At which point the whole thing of slave would still work. He could still have been delusional in some fashion instead of having this.
Yeah.
Because it just even Straff's whole thing makes no sense. Straff's never shown any sense of of caring about Ellen. Hell, last book he did nothing to stop an assassination plot.
Yeah.
Straff has should have no hesitation on murdering Ellen.
No, and even when he asks Zane how his meeting with Ellen went, and Zane says that he proposed his idea to Ellen, and he doesn't think that Ellen would come. At which point, Straff correctly identifies the fact that Ellen is a bit stubborn, and that he will probably come to his camp.
Foolish. Well, he literally says foolish.
Yeah.
He's full on doesn't believe that Ellen's actually took control of the central dominance.
Yeah. Yeah, another fact that when he mentions the rumors about Vin and the Lord Ruler, and Straff says that anyone who is powerful enough would not listen to Ellen Venture.
Yeah, which also, in my opinion, does tell me that I don't think Straff knows that Vin was Valet.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't think Straff knows that.
Yeah, it's probably because I don't think anyone really has seen Vin a lot. Like, just her
No.
name and her fame has like spread outside of Luthadel and Central Dominance,
But only as Vin.
only as Vin,
Vin
not as
at the
Valet.
Survivor.
Yeah, and not her entire plot with Renew and the others hasn't really been revealed, which I think it's probably good for the best. But yeah, that's basically the interaction between them, and tea arrives. Straff recognizes that there is a poison in the tea, and
Yeah, I also want to point out that I don't know if it was intentional by Sanderson, but did he really have to set up the sentence, "You're insane, Zane"?
it might have been
When
like
I first heard that sentence, I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
so it's not like these names.
That is not.
Yeah, it's not like he's making up a naming system like Martin and naming his characters like that.
Let's be honest. The names in the series are pure random.
Yeah, so it might have been intentional that his name is Zane and he's a bit zany, a bit insane.
Which
Yeah,
I don't like
it's-
that because that reads as a comedic sentence because
yeah,
it's, "You're insane, Zane" is a comedic sentence because
yeah,
of the way it rhymes.
I mean, linguistic unity is something that we don't often see in books, especially fantasy books. Very few authors actually pay any attention to some form of linguistic cohesion between the names and stuff. I think Martin is probably the best at
Many
it.
try.
Yeah, many try. That
But
is
there's
true.
only one who has really mastered it,
Yeah.
and it's Tolkien.
I mean, Tolkien invented his own languages. Even without making languages, I think George R. R. Martin does it best.
George R. R. Martin does it well, but he has especially when it comes to Valyrian names, he has a nasty tendency to just vary one letter.
Fair, but that's
I
how
want to point
names
out
even
that
in our world go.
there is the name Aemon. However, there's also the name Gaemon.
There's Aemon, Gaemon,
There is the name Aegon. There is
Yeah.
also Vagon.
Yeah.
Do we have an explanation for why those names are like that? No, not really, because it doesn't make much sense.
I mean, we do have
It's
a high
most-
Valyrian language now, so we can ask.
Well,
David
the thing is, you
Peterson.
also get like, okay, most of the names have an A sound in it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you get Viserys, which is completely different.
No, but with the YS endings, you also have Rhaenys, you have
Yeah, but it still has an A sound in it.
Daenerys. Yeah.
Visenya and Viserys are very rare amongst the Targaryen names, at least.
I think it's probably because of the first Viserys that you don't get another Viserys. Second Viserys that you don't get another Viserys for very long.
I mean, it's also the reason, like, one of the reasons. It's also, some of the names are just never used again.
Mhm.
Nobody's using Daemon anymore.
No, probably not.
But no, with Martin, it's very much like some of the names you can clearly tell there's been. For instance, there's the name Arthur
Mhm.
has clear variations that exist in both the Vale and the North.
Yeah.
The name Arthur is Dornish, Stony Dornish, because Arthur Dane.
Mhm.
But you have Artis in the Vale and Artos in the North.
Mhm.
And that screams comparison. What's interesting about it is that I think in the Vale, Artis is seen as an Andal name.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Because one of the first Erins was named Artis.
Mhm.
Whereas in the North, Arthos falls fully in line with the rest of the First Men names. Which and if it's also named with the Stony Dornish, you can kind of tell that the Andals just took over the name Arthur.
Probably, yeah. That would make sense.
You can make that connection.
Mhm.
There are still things that are very interesting, like the Westerlands is an obsession with Ty.
Yeah.
Tywin, Tytos, Tyrion.
Thailand,
But also, Brandon. Of course, the name Brandon is going to have variations all over Westeros.
Yeah. I mean, you have legendary names. You have the legendary names of Brandon. You have the legendary name of the Garth Greenhand. You have the legendary...
Garth is Garth is not as common as you'd think it would be, but there is an interesting thing that I've noticed that the Tyrells have a completely different naming schemes from the Gardeners.
Yeah.
even the names that they might share that are very similar are different enough.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there is some form of attempt for linguistic cohesion, which we don't really find in this book at all. We tried to establish something in the last book when we were
There is cohesion in some sense, in that there is definitely some of the old culture shines through.
Yeah.
Through the names.
Definitely. So.
And you can pick out rough directions, but not fully.
Not fully, yeah. That is definitely.
And that's because there's been 1,000 years of cultural genocide.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that is true.
Like 1,000 years of cultural and religious genocide in this world. So, everyone speaks the same language, if with dialects, and it's all the terrorist language.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean.
Shall we just quickly do the Straff bit?
Yeah. So the tea arrives. Straff realizes it's poison, and he orders the servant to be killed. Who looks at Zane, but Zane doesn't do anything. Obviously, he, as we described him earlier, he is a hypocrite who, while wants Vin to break from her bonds, doesn't really do anything to rise above his. That is that. Anyway, Straff knows it's Zane's attempt.
I mean, I fully expect this book to end this. If Zane escapes this book alive, which I personally doubt very much,
given his his tendencies, yeah, I don't think he's making out alive of this book.
I fully expect this book to end with him killing Straff.
That would be interesting, especially like we have a setup of that he is trying to poison him, even if not outright kill him instantly.
Thing is, I fully expect, but when he does it, it will have been accidental.
That would.
Or a thing of it, or the first time he let the thoughts in his mind dominate him.
That would be interesting.
I did notice that he used the word dominate, which sends alarm bells ringing in my head.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah,
because the word dominate, a variance of dominate, is used 4 times in this chapter.
Yeah, but yeah, Straff says that he's not going to give Zane any ATM because of his behaviors.
Yeah, and he's treating it like a drug.
Yes. Which, I mean, he can't.
Straff does not understand the fact that Straff doesn't seem to understand Mistborn at all tells me I don't think House Venture has had a Mistborn in service for a very long time.
That would make sense, given that
Straff doesn't seem to know anything about Mistborn in general, and the fact that he's having to use a bastard son of his as a Mistborn, that's not something you'd expect from Straff. The way he acts about like his. Straff is not a stupid character.
No.
He would not risk this unless it was necessary. I don't think that the Ventures have had a Mistborn for a while.
Especially like given that they are such an old house because they mined Lord Ruler's ATM, so they'll probably.
I think Alan might have thought they must have had a Mistborn in service, but he probably just didn't know who it was.
Yeah.
But I don't think they did, at least not openly. Anyway, Straff might have he was definitely having Zane trained.
Yeah.
But he could never use Zane openly and bring Zane to court, obviously. But Straff just doesn't seem to understand Mistborn.
No, it doesn't.
And we know Straff's a learned man. He's not someone who reads books, but he's definitely not stupid. He knows a lot. He's a learned man in the sense that he knows how to run an empire. But he's not he doesn't seem to understand Mistborn at all. Or I don't think he understands other elements even.
No, I don't think
if he assumes that ATM is a drug.
Yeah, it's weird that he would think so. I mean, we don't really have ATM missing, so that's nothing we can really find out from someone. So the only way you will find out about it is through Mistborn, and the fact that Straff doesn't know anything. Yeah, that points to the fact that he hasn't really interacted that much with Mistborns. But yeah, it's weird. I don't know why.
Yeah, anyway. But we get into the whole deeply uncomfortable things with regards to Amaranta.
Yeah.
And it's...
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Straff even drinks the tea after knowing that it was poisoned, I mean, he does it as sort of a power projection towards Zane for some reason, which he didn't really need to, so...
No.
I have no idea why he did that.
Because he's risking a lot, because he outright says, it definitely had birchbane in it, but it probably had something else hiding in it. That could have been a fast-acting poison.
Yeah, it could have been anything, so I have no idea why he did so.
Yeah, it's... I mean, it's interesting because it shows a little bit of the skill of a Tin Eye,
Mhm.
but then you get into but he does have to know what something like birch paint smells like in
Yeah.
order to understand it.
Mhm.
Oh god, what's the guy of the
Which
that?
one?
Damn it! I remember. I hate that I've forgotten his name because I'm usually better at remembering these names.
What name?
Uh,
Whose name?
give me a moment. Mithridates.
Ah.
It reminds me of Mithridates
Huh.
in that he's constantly getting himself, like he's constantly poisoning himself with lethal doses. He's constantly aware of all the poisons,
Hmm.
which also Straff probably has a high resistance because he's practiced a lot.
Probably, yeah, that would make sense.
He knows exactly how long it will take for the birch paint to take him.
Yeah. He says round about an hour, which is, I mean, only you would know that after you have taken it a lot.
That's a poison you use when you need to escape.
Mhm.
Like when you need to have a little bit of time to escape.
Yeah.
Because the only reason Straff notices early on that it's happening is because he's a Tin Eye.
Yeah, I mean, Zane even mentions that he was able to pick birchman apart from cinnamon, which is the closest to what it smells like, which is something that he's extremely skilled at. So yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah, but
But yeah, things happen, and then he calls one of his mistresses, who is also happens to be a herbalist, and she prepares an antidote for him, which is where we
and we
learn
get
of his proclivities as well.
we get
Hmm.
we get questionable the storyline.
Yeah, I think that
Goes
entire
a little beyond. It goes a bit beyond what I want to be read in general. I've read a lot,
yeah.
but this is the point where I might turn off, like, close a fan fiction.
Yeah, that would make sense. Especially, I think that the entire point of him drinking the poison was to introduce this section. Well, by the author, I
Yeah,
mean.
but also he doesn't even know how many mistresses he has with him. He says 10 to 15.
Yeah.
Or 10 or 15. It's like, uh-oh. Like, he doesn't even know.
Yeah. I mean, we already knew
Like,
Straffventure was bad. You didn't need this section to, like,
no, we didn't need this
rise.
section to make him even worse when we already see him as the worst.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But yeah,
Atalanta leaves.
that's how it
And
happens. And
it is interesting. Straff is uncertain if Zane will continue to do as he commands, but that alone tells me he doesn't seem to have any Mistborn in service at the moment. If he has to rely on Zane.
yeah, he says that he.
Originally, I kind of thought that cousin that was mentioned, that Straff wanted to inherit the title instead of Elend, would have been Mistborn.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I thought that if it had to be any family member of, if the Watcher had to be any family member of Elend, it was going to be a cousin. Because that would have actually been, I would have found that a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, that would make sense. But yeah, I don't know. This chapter was weird. I think both of us agree with that.
Actually, even more so, if it had been a cousin, and the cousin had been a Mistborn, and Straff wanted him to inherit the title, that would have made his disappointment in Elend even more so, because Elend's not an Elementor at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get a very short one sentence epigraph, which is basically him saying, "I made a mistake."
I think we talked about it last week as well, when you were saying just exact this thing. What would have happened if Quan hadn't picked Elendi as his assistant, someone else, and that's exactly what it says here. But yeah,
but
there's nothing
that
really much to it. Hopefully, we'll get more of this when Caesar returns. But yeah, that's this chapter, which, well, for better or for worse, it was what it was.
worse. Yeah, that was that.
Yeah.
And
well, we'll be back with the next
see where
two
this
chapters.
goes.
Yeah. Anyway, see you next time. Bye.
Bye bye.